Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Municipality of Monroeville's regular council meeting. Today is Tuesday, June 10th, 2014, approximately 7 p.m. If we'd all kindly rise for the Lord's Prayer, followed by the national anthem and pledge by Officer Markle. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen.
Detail. 10. Present arms. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Order on.
Roll call, Sharon, please.
Mayor Cinco.
Here.
Mrs. Gatos.
Here.
Dr. Griesbach. Mr. Harvey.
Here.
Mr. Johns.
Here.
Mr. Cleary.
Here.
Mr. Duncan.
Here.
Mr. Wilson.
Here.
Mr. Little.
Here.
Mr. Dice.
Here.
Mr. Lally.
Here.
Mr. Hugus.
Here.
Mr. Sedlak.
Here.
And for those sitting here as well as in the audience, Dr. Griesbach is still taking care of his wife. She's pretty ill. She's taking care of her and the kids, so he apologizes for missing. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move over to our presentation and swearing in of our new officers. This is one of the fun things that I get to do as the mayor, one of the more enjoyable. I wish they were all that good, my activities, but we certainly will. And Chief, if you'll join me up there, please.
Yeah, I'll briefly identify who the new officers are of the department here, and then I'll have a brief statement after the mayor is done with swearing them in. William Sapanic, on my right, Brad Martin Jr., Joseph Miller, Jeremy Frisk, Francis Speranza. Mayor, please.
Gentlemen, if you all raise your right hand, repeat after me. I, and state your name.
I, Joseph Miller.
Having been appointed as an officer of the Monroeville Police Department
Having been appointed as an officer of the Monroeville Police Department
by an act of Monroeville Council
by an act of Monroeville Council,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution of the United States of
the
America,
Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and that I take this obligation freely without mental reservations
and I take this obligation freely without mental reservations
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of a police officer, so help me God.
of a police officer, so help me God.
Congratulations, gentlemen.
Good job. I guess a little awkward stance. You're not used to not having the podium here, but we'll get by here. On behalf of the Monroeville Police Department, I want to thank Mayor, Council, and the municipal manager for letting us hire and get to our authorized strength of 48. Just to give you a little bit of idea of how the hiring process began, this actually began back in 2012. And this civil service list was certified by the Civil Service Commission in June of 2012, and we subsequently hired 16 officers off the list. That list just expired as of this month, June 2014. The reason we hired so many officers is that since February of 2013, and this is for the public also certainly, 13 of our officers had retired from this department. And in addition to that, very sadly, we lost 2 officers to natural or to death. They died, non-duty related. So that gave us a total of 15 officers that we lost. A third of the department's been replaced in the past year and a few months. So the good part about hiring here in Monroeville is actually it's a great part to hire anytime we can. We get experienced officers. These officers come to us with a wealth of experience. William Supanik has 11 years experience as a police officer. He comes from Penn Township PD in Westmoreland County, just across the border. He has worked there since 2005, and before that he worked for Ligonier Borough, South Greensburg, Trafford, and Irwin police departments. In addition, just as a side note, his father is also a police officer in Penn Township. Brad Martin Jr. comes to us from the city of Pittsburgh, has 7 years experience. His father is a retired city police officer as well as being a current county police officer. So there's obviously a family history with the first couple officers. Joseph Miller, we all know him very well. He kind of has family history through marriage, but he was a police officer for over 7 years, and he comes to us from Pitcairn PD. He also worked in Oakmont. Jeremy Frisk, 10 years on the job. He comes to us from Penn Hills PD, and he also worked in Wilkins Township and Wilkinsburg prior to being here. And Officer Francis Speranza, I know his father real well, who's right behind me over my shoulder. His father's also a retired law enforcement officer. He was, make sure I got this, a regional director, narcotics director for the Attorney General's office. He just retired here recently. Franny comes to us with over 14 years of experience from Norfolk Sales. So again, I thank you for the opportunity to put these gentlemen on the job here, and they look forward to great careers here in Monroe.
And Chief, am I not correct in saying all these officers here are also veterans as well?
I'm not sure all of them are veterans. No, we got
How many
past
are
the veterans
veterans?
preference.
None of us.
None of
None
them.
of-
Yeah,
oh,
we got
all
down
right,
below the
okay.
veteran preference.
Wasn't sure, okay.
Well, we ended up, and veteran preference obviously gives more points on the list, but these gentlemen all scored very high on both the oral
Sure.
and written, enough to make.
Oh, no,
make
we're
the
very
list.
happy to have them. My mistake, gentlemen, so.
So again, I thank Mayor and Council. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, you know what, folks, you all, with the families and the new officers, if you would like to leave, you certainly can. If you'd like to stay, you're more than welcome, but why the hell would you? So,
Good luck, guys. Good luck.
oh,
Congratulations.
folks, and there is refreshments downstairs for you all.
Oh, yeah, leave. Officers, not ex-officers.
All right, I'll see you later.
Are you the? All right, see you, bro.
I think Paulie, but I can, because I know him real well. Yeah, Brian. Yeah. Oh, Dennis. I thought we did already. Yeah, I know, no, I thought we, yeah, March 11th, huh?
He was nominated.
Yeah. Okay, so what do I need to do?
Sit there and be quiet. Good.
Okay, then
You wouldn't let it go.
No. You have a point to that?
None.
How long have you known? Long enough to know.
Long enough to know about it. That's weird fun. No doubt.
Paul. Yeah. Hey, Paul. Oh, yeah. This Brian McPhee, I know him really well. Great guy. He just, I resigned from the presidency of the Gateway Foundation.
Oh.
And,
Oh, I know.
I think,
Oh, okay.
yeah. I mean, and the reason I resigned because he was available much better than. Boy, that cleaned out the riffraff, didn't it?
Wow.
Huh?
And for the 4 of you that are remaining, thanks.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we'll get back to our meeting. We were a little bit out of order, and I'll move it over to public comment on proposed agenda items only. I'm opening up to anybody in the public that would like to address council on agenda items only. Seeing none, we'll move over to our approval of our minutes in council. Citizens' Night meeting of April 3rd, 2014. Citizens' Night meeting of May 8th, 2014, and the council work session of May 8th, 2014. Any other additions or corrections? Seeing none, motion on the floor.
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, Sharon, please.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Clary?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
And we'll move over to our approval of our reports of our tax collections. Once again, council, are there any additions or corrections? Seeing none, is there a motion on the floor?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second? Second, roll call, Sharon, please.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Clary?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
And moving over to our payroll report, once again, council, I am seeking any additions or corrections? Seeing none, is there a motion on the floor?
Motion to approve.
I'd like to approve as revised.
Please,
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to approve as revised. List of bills.
Second.
do you withdraw your
I
first?
withdraw that, yes.
And then now you're going to second?
Yes, I am, sir.
Roll call, Sharon, please.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Clary?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Moving to our list of bills, we'll start off with you, Tom, first. Any additions or corrections?
No, not at this time.
Steve?
I have none.
Paul?
None here.
Jim?
Nothing, sir.
Ron?
Nothing.
And Linda?
Nothing.
Very good. Motion on the floor.
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, Sharon, please.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Clary?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
And moving to our budget transfers, once again, council, I am seeking any corrections or additions or whatever. Seeing none, motion on the floor.
So
Motion to
moved.
approve.
There's a motion and a second. Roll call,
Second.
Sharon, please.
I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Tom, motion, Linda, second.
Yeah.
Roll call, Sharon, please.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Clary?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
And now we'll move over to our vacancies on boards and commissions and authorities. Do we have any appointments or nominations, council?
Yes, sir. Mayor, I would like to,
Are you going to do zoning hearing board? Is that what you're about to
yes,
do?
I'm sorry.
Okay. I might suggest a better procedure that we can follow, because I know that there are 3 appointments up tonight. They are appointments, not nominations. If you take a look at your agenda, under resolutions, the first resolution is a resolution appointing the members to the restructured Monroeville Zoning Hearing Board. So my suggestion is that you make a motion to approve the resolution and name the names in the motion. So what I would suggest is the motion would be that we adopt the resolution appointing members And do we have a member that's going to serve a one-year term, and what's his name?
His name is Rick Tieran.
And his term would run from January of this year until December
December.
31st, 2014?
That is correct.
Okay. That would be the nominee for the one-year term. Is there a nominee for the two-year term?
That's Bob Stevens.
Okay, and his term would run from January of 2014 to December 31st, 2015, correct?
Correct.
All right, so now we have an insertion for that in the resolution. Do we have a third member?
Yes, we do. Bob Bell.
And he'll serve from January 14th to, or January 1st, 2014, until December 31st, 2016.
That's correct.
Okay. So now you have a resolution that's a motion, or a motion needs to be made to say what I've just said.
But don't you think we have to untable it first?
No, I think it's on the agenda.
But it was tabled, we have not untabled it, so it wouldn't be.
I don't, no, it's tabled to this meeting.
Oh,
Now
okay,
it's- Now
okay.
it's presented to you.
Okay, so a motion to approve the resolution
As Mr. Dice read.
as stated by Mr. Dice,
With the three new names.
with the three names.
Right.
I'd like to make a motion, as stated by Mr. Dice, with the three names, to appoint them according to the resolution.
I second that.
Roll call, any discussion on that, folks?
A little out of order.
I think it's clear now.
Okay, yeah, because again, just for the listening audience and those sitting here, that's a one-year appointment, a two-year appointment, and a three-year appointment, just so everybody's clear on that.
Correct.
No other questions or comments from council? Excuse me. Roll call, Sharon, please.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Clary?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
Any other appointments or nominations? Mr. Wilson?
I have an appointment, Dennis Biondo Jr., Ward 7, at 269 Lilac Drive, for the Human Needs and Resources Advisory Board.
Is there?
Nomination.
He's already nominated.
No, to
Is he
appoint.
making a?
No, you're going, or did you nominate or appoint? I thought you already nominated him. so
Yeah,
you're
I wanted to
appointing him.
appoint him, yes.
Oh,
You made a motion to appoint.
May I make a
Oh,
motion?
okay.
And I
Second.
second.
Roll call, Sharon, please.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Clary?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Any other appointments or nominations, council?
I'd like to nominate Brian McBee of the 5th Ward at 2100 Jeremy Drive, Apartment 212, to the Human Needs and Resources Advisory Board.
Second.
Roll call, Sharon, please.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Clary?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
And council, as we've been doing, please don't give out their addresses. Remember, we did not want to do that. We already know that they're Monroeville residents. They've been checked out by our administration. So, any other appointments or nominations? I do have two. I'm going to appoint to the Personnel Board Betsy Desmond, and I'm going to appoint Danny Balsick. So, I'll seek a motion on both.
Motion to appoint.
Ratify.
Second.
Well, it's to ratify. Is there a second? Roll call, Sharon, please.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Just to confirm, this is on both names.
Yes.
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Clary?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
I don't even know what that means. Once again, council, do we have any nominations or appointments? Seeing none, council, I'm going to request that we go to an executive session for personnel reasons. Hopefully, we will not be long, so for you folks sitting with us, please be patient. Is there a motion?
Motion to go to executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
What am I going to need?
Where are we at?
And we're back in session, and ladies and gentlemen, I do apologize, my
Need a
mistake.
motion to come back.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's right, we do. Motion to come out of executive
So
session.
moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, I do apologize, my mistake, if you will. We were in an executive session last Thursday, and that would have been from 8:25 to 9:55 for personnel and legal reasons. And I do apologize for not putting that out at the beginning of the meeting, as we always do. And now, moving on, we're going to go to the new business, and Tim, if you would.
Thank you, Mayor. Under new business, requesting a motion to accept Linda Holloran's resignation from the Human Needs and Resources Advisory Board.
Is there a motion on the floor?
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? Roll call, Sharon, please.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Clary?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Okay,
Moving over to resolutions, again, if you would, sir, please.
resolution number 1 has already been adopted. Resolution number 2, a resolution approving a cooperative memorandum of agreement between the municipality of Monroeville, the municipality of Murraysville, and the Township of Salem for the multi-jurisdictional in-sync adaptive traffic signal implementation project along William Penn Highway corridor.
Is there a motion on the floor?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Questions or comments? And once again, ladies and gentlemen, for the public's information, we did discuss this at length. Mr. Hugus gave a great report, and hopefully everybody's clear on that. So with that, no comment from council. Roll call, Sharon, please.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Clary?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
Okay, item number 3 is a resolution authorizing participation in the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation in-sync adaptive traffic signal implementation project in Allegheny County and Westmoreland County along the William Penn Highway corridor.
Motion on the floor.
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Questions or comments? Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this was discussed at length at last Thursday's work session. Seeing no comments from council, roll call, Sharon, please.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Clary?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Tim.
Okay, resolutions 4 through 10 are the traffic signals that are part of the resolution number 2 and resolution number 3 on the traffic signal implementation along William Penn Highway. And these have to be read here individually for each traffic signal. Number 4, a resolution authorizing the installation of an in-sync adaptive traffic signal system at the William Penn Highway, Old William Penn Highway, and Plaza Drive intersection.
Motion on the floor.
Motion.
Second.
Questions or comments?
Yeah, I have a comment.
Please.
This is all at no cost to the municipality, correct?
No cost to the municipality.
And
Great.
Paul, if you would, just give like just for the, anybody that didn't, wasn't here last Thursday or didn't watch, just give a very, very brief what we're doing.
Okay, real quick. PennDOT received the grant through the Federal Highway Administration for about $2 million to implement this system from Route 66 in Salem Township through the Cochran Signal to end at the Parkway entrance, Turnpike entrance area. And it's a new traffic signal system. It's a smart system that uses cameras and radar. So it'll help move traffic more efficiently through.
That's the big bottom line is, this is just to help traffic flow a lot easier.
That's correct.
Read all these.
So hopefully that
Just read them all and then.
resolves any issues with our listening
Why don't we
public.
do that?
I'm sorry, Linda, you were saying?
I asked him if he could not just read them all and then we approve them all instead of having to do a roll call for each and every one individually.
We have to do that, ma'am.
We do
just
have
tried
to?
to-
Yes,
Okay.
There was a motion on the floor.
So there was a motion and a second, no other comments. Roll call, Sharon, please.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Clary?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
Tim.
Okay, resolution number 5, a resolution authorizing the installation of an in-sync adaptive traffic signal system at William Penn Highway, McClure Road, and Cabot Road intersection.
Motion on the floor.
Motion.
Is there a
Second.
second? Questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call, Sharon, once again, please.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Cleary?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Tim.
Okay, resolution number 6, a resolution authorizing the installation of an in-sync adaptive traffic signal system at the William Penn Highway ramp and Alpine Village Drive intersection.
Motion on the floor.
Motion.
Second. Questions or comments, council? Roll call, Sharon, please.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Cleary?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
Tim.
Resolution number 7, a resolution authorizing the installation of an in-sync adaptive traffic signal implementation at William Penn Highway and Northern Pike intersection.
Motion on the floor.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Questions or comments, council? Seeing none, roll call again, Sharon.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Cleary?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Tim.
Resolution number 8, a resolution authorizing the installation of an in-sync adaptive traffic signal system at William Penn Highway and Elliott Road intersection.
Motion on the floor.
Motion.
Second.
Questions or comments, council? Seeing none, roll call, Sharon.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Cleary?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
Number 9.
Resolution number 9, a resolution authorizing the installation of in-sync adaptive traffic signal system at William Penn Highway, Old William Penn Highway, and private road intersection.
Motion on the floor.
So moved.
Second. Is there a second?
Second.
Questions or comments, council? Seeing none, roll call, Sharon, please.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Cleary?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Tim.
Resolution number 10, a resolution authorizing the installation of an in-sync adaptive traffic signal system at William Penn Highway and Cochran Drive intersection.
Motion on the floor.
So
Motion.
moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Questions or comments? Roll call, Sharon, please.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Cleary?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
Amen. All righty, our last resolution, but before you actually, after you read the resolution, if you would, Tim, some of the residents asked if you would name the roads as well on the resurfacing project.
Yeah, I plan on. Resolution number 11 is the road paving program for 2014, and it has been cut back. As Paul Hugas mentioned on Thursday night, we usually spend about $1 million on our road paving program, and this is quite possibly maybe about a quarter of that. The streets to be paved are Harper Drive from Fairlawn Drive to Evergreen Park, Doherty Drive from Mosside Boulevard, obviously, to the end, Heather Drive at Duff Road to its end and to the end of Heather Drive, Shoemaker Drive from Wilford Drive to Thuray Drive, and Pine Frost Drive to Fieldstone Drive and to Sunnyfield Drive. So item number 11 will be a resolution to pave those roads, a resolution authorizing the advertising of bids for the 2014 road surfacing program for the attached list of roadways throughout the municipality of Monroeville.
Motion on the floor.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Hey, once again, I'm sorry, go ahead, sir.
Wasn't, obviously it wasn't, but I thought Doherty Drive was just done.
No, this is a segment from Route 48 to the Holiday Inn. That's the segment of Doherty.
And once again, ladies and gentlemen, as I've said before, last Thursday, we certainly have went over this issue at length, and we do have the lowest responsible bidder, and there was a motion and a second. So any questions or comments on this item before you? Roll call, Sharon, please.
Mrs. Gatos?
Aye.
Mr. Harvey?
Aye.
Mr. Johns?
Aye.
Mr. Cleary?
Aye.
Mr. Duncan?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Thank you. There are no ordinances this evening, so we're going to move over to reports of our municipal staff. And Mr. Dice, any words of
I have
advice?
nothing.
Tim?
No comments.
Paul?
No comments.
And now we'll move over on to public comments on any municipal items. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is your time to address council. Seeing none, we'll move over to reports of our officials. Tom, we're going to start off with you this evening.
Well, first of all, I'd like to wish every father a happy Father's Day.
Thanks, buddy.
Happy Father's Day. The next thing I'd like to discuss or talk about is the Garden City Crime Watch program. There's a meeting Monday, June 23rd at 7 p.m., Garden City Number 6 Fire Hall. And this is for the entire community. This isn't just for Ward 7. I'd like to see more folks from all over the community come over. And it also has come to our attention that there has been some increased issues within the community, and we want to keep our neighborhoods safe for our families. So everybody from Monroeville is invited. Everyone, please attend. I have a couple things I'd like to share with you. Hopefully, the folks out there know about our animal shelter, and they will accept donations, and they also do some or provide puppies and kittens and all kind of goodies for adoption. So if you're looking for a pet, you might stop by there and take a look and see what they have before you go further, and use that as a rescue portion for the community. And they're always accepting donations for the shelter. And don't forget to visit the Heritage Dog Park on Sanders Station Road. It's open dawn to dusk. And that's it. Thank you.
Steve?
Yeah, just as a follow-up to a couple of items I mentioned Thursday night, I've had residents contact me about the elimination of the Student Park Leader Program. And since then, I've got the results back from the attendance, and it is down somewhat, a little since 2012 and 13. But it's my understanding that the former administration, or the manager, actually told these department heads during budget talks to find cuts or lose an employee. And I don't know if that was the right way of going about possibly this move. But I think we need to look at this for the upcoming budget and see if we can reinstate some of these parks, just for the kids' sake.
Agreed.
And, I have, like I said, received a lot of, complaints towards that. And lastly, I also asked about the closure of Pitcairn Road and the status. It's been almost a year in July, it'll be a year in July that this road's been closed, and I was told to contact my county rep from all of us, and I did that, and I'm currently awaiting Mr. Mortoni's response. He wasn't in at the time, but he's promised to get back to me. And lastly, I'd like to congratulate the 5 new police officers and wish my wife a happy birthday. It's her birthday today. Michelle.
Happy birthday, Michelle.
That's all I have.
Very good. Paul?
I don't have anything tonight, Mr. Mayor.
Jim?
Yes, sir. Excuse me, I have a couple of things that I had said on Thursday. The Monroeville Convention Visitors Bureau in June 13th through the 15th in the South Hall. They have half-price books. Entrance is free. Also on the 14th of June, excuse me, the PA Wine and Food Festival will be there in the North Hall. Tickets are $25 a person, but if you get them in advance, they're $20 per person or 2 for $35. A couple other quick things. I'd also like to congratulate the new policeman. Good luck. And one other thing real fast, Tom. It took a long time before I even realized we had an animal shelter. You might want to, I'm not sure, you might want to let the residents know just where it is, because I never knew where it was. You know what I mean?
Certainly. It's
Right behind the Public Works building.
it's down by the Public Works. I can also give you the lost pets number if you have a pet that's missing. The number is 412-856-3355. It's at 200 Star Drive, Monroeville. They're open from 6:30 a.m. till 3 p.m., Monday through Friday.
Can we put that up
And,
on the TV?
Put
Pardon
up
me?
on our website.
Can we put it
as
up on the
well.
TV channel and on the website, Monroeville website as well?
Done.
Great.
And then one other quick thing before I forget, I'd also like to congratulate our chief, Doug Cole, for his involvement. We had a rather, I'm sure everybody saw in the news, there was a rather large drug bust going on in the area, and the chief and his staff were involved, and I'd like to say thanks. With that, I'm done, sir.
Ron?
Ready?
You have 10 seconds.
All right, to the residents of Pondview Drive, the street was cleaned and the potholes were repaired and patched thanks to Public Works. That was taken care of. To the residents of Marywood Drive that are looking to get those ruts going across their road repaired, I talked to Mr. Adams today. He's asking you to please be patient. He's got a lot of things on his list, but it is going to be taken care of. I, too, would like to congratulate the 5 new officers and hope they have a long and safe career here in Monroeville. I still would like to ask or find out how I would go about maybe designing or implementing an ordinance to attract new business into Monroeville, giving them some tax relief maybe the first 2 years, getting them back to 100% the third year, or whatever idea. That's just my idea, but I would really like some instruction on how to get that moving or investigated, because I really don't know what to do here. And then there's a matter of taking care of or doing something for the Old Faithfuls, and that's the businesses that have been here for 30, 40 years. But one thing at a time. If I could get some help designing that ordinance, if that's what it takes, I would appreciate it. Want to congratulate their welcome back Tina Mueller. I didn't get a chance to say that previous meeting, so I wanted to put that in there. And I think maybe with things that have come up that I've heard at the council meetings, that maybe the council needs to sit down with Mr. Little and maybe do some budget adjustments. I know we had a tax increase. Everybody knows we had a tax increase. I don't think we can pay back those debts all in one lump sum in 1 year. I think we have to continue providing services to the residents and making smart moves and replacing some of our fleet that's costing us a ton of money. And so maybe we don't put so much back in the retirement funds and the savings funds until we catch up on our debts. The people in the parks is an example. Maybe we put one person down there. I just think we need to revisit it and reconsider what we do with the tax increase. Maybe we don't put so much in this year because we have to play catch-up, and next year we put more in, and I just think we should revisit that budget. Again, I want to welcome our new finance director. I'm glad to see he's here and moving along, because God only knows Tim needed help, and hopefully he'll be able to help our budget situation. Of course, it's coming up soon, which reminds me, I just wanted to ask council, I don't think we should wait till the last minute to start on this budget next year.
No, Mr. Lally and I have already had discussions about that.
So, and I agree with Mr. Duncan. If the park down by his ward or in his ward needs an attendant, and then we should put one down there. It's just my feeling.
You done?
That is all.
Okay.
Linda.
First of all, happy Father's Day to my father. I love you, Dad. And to my husband as well. And especially to my son, because this is his first Father's Day, so that's really special for me. Congratulations to our new officers. Welcome them. And lastly, I spoke a lot on Thursday with the library people. I asked a lot of questions. We got a lot of answers. Maybe I didn't agree with their choices and you don't agree with their choices of how they spent the money that was in their fund, but that was their choice to make. So they didn't do anything wrong. They didn't spend any of your money. So please, understand that. And I think we can now just put that to rest, move on, and, remember your library and, continue to use it, please. But as far as questioning over the referendum, let's just close the book on that, and it's another thing that we can now start to move forward with. And other than that, last thing is, I'm glad you're back, Mr. Wilson.
Thank you.
And happy Father's Day to the rest of you gentlemen.
Thank you kindly.
And that's it.
Alrighty, and I have a very brief report as well. In regards, Steve, to your question on the resident park folks, there are some residents that would like to meet with Mr. Little and myself. They have an alternative plan to maybe even get a couple of, maybe 2 or 3 even on duty for this summer. So, Tim, they're going to contact me or you, or both, and we will certainly meet with them.
I'd like to be
And-
part of that if,
Well, you certainly can. Well,
I mean,
let me put it this way. I'll leave the
notify
door
me.
open for anybody on council who would like to join us. But again, they would like to meet with us, so anybody on council, you are welcome to join us. Second thing is, I agree with Tom on the Crime Watch on the 23rd at 7 at Fire Hall 6. Please try to attend. I think it's a great idea. You get good ideas there, some things they talk about you may not think about for your own safety, if you will. So try to make sure you get there. Obviously, happy Father's Day to all the dads. And last but not least, Sean Lawley and I are going to do a program tomorrow. I'm going to basically introducing him into the community. If you all remember, I do have the Monroeville on the Move TV program. We'll shoot it tomorrow. It will probably be aired in a few days after that, so please tune in. You'll get a good idea who Sean is. He's going to talk a little bit about his family and his background and all that, so it'd be a great idea to tune in on that. You can get on our website and see when that will be aired, and it's aired several times throughout the month. And with that, now, my understanding is, Mr. Harvey, you wanted to go to an executive session?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion, we adjourn to an executive session.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
What's the purpose?
Oh, yeah, what's the purpose, Ron? I'm sorry.
To continue the discussion, when you came back out, I thought,
Police negotiations.
and talk about the results of the police negotiations that Mr. Little was trying to hand out. But we came out to close the meeting, so.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor?
All right.
Opposed? Thank you and good night, ladies and gentlemen.